2. What is up, guys? It's your boy Andy Matrix, and I'm here with Dash Attack. We're still waiting for Dante. Um, so we got a brand new show for you guys this Saturday, and we got some interesting stuff to talk about because I don't think that we will ever run out of content. What are the
Nah.
crazy stuff that's happening in the world? We are never
Yep.
gonna
The
run out
crazy
of
world
things to say. I mean, like just recently, I made a video about. I found this forum. I think Dante made a video too. I found this forum, this Japanese forum. I translated it with Google Translate, obviously, and the Japanese were talking about, why there aren't any black characters in anime, which there are. There are, is just not as many as people want there to be. To be more specific.
Oh yeah, I've been to watch one of your videos about that. So can you fill me in?
Yeah. So basically, in the video, I was talking about, I just pulled up this Japanese forum, translated it with Google Translate, and then it was talking about in the the people giving their opinions as to why there's not a lot of black characters in Japanese anime. Is because in Japan is 98% Japanese, so they're very homogenous.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the next 50 years, it's probably going to change.
Well, I
They're
mean,
very
there are black people that do live in Japan. They're just a minority.
Yeah,
There
no,
are
yeah,
actually
it's true.
Muslims.
It's true.
There are Muslims in Japan.
Yeah, there's Muslims, there's Arabians, there's black people that live in Japan, but they're a very small minority. Like when I went to Japan in 2019, right before the pandemic and everything went crazy, thank God. I actually, I run into some people. I actually talked to a few of them. I stopped by. There were some that own businesses in Japan. They own like a store or something. I had like a funny encounter with one that was like a French black guy.
Oh, cool.
No, it was just it's just the way he approached it was kind of like just a little weird. But there's half black. Wait, here's Dante. Dante! What's up, dude?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Yeah,
Well,
I was just telling the story about one of my most recent videos.
Oh, what happened?
No, just talking. The video I made about why Japan talking about why there aren't a lot of like black characters in anime.
Oh yeah, I made the same video. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I was saying that when I went to Japan, I was saying that there's a very small population of like Africans, and a lot of them are actually directly from African countries, right?
Yeah.
And apparently there's like I think who was it? I think it was Chiba, where there's like a lot of Africans living in Japan, right? And and I was saying that Japan is 98% Japanese. They're very homogenous, and then 2% of that population is gaijin from other countries, right?
Yeah, you know
2%,
what?
2%.
No, do me a favor if you can. Pull out the article if you want to, so you can talk about it. You can get things kicked off with that article.
Yeah,
if you
let's
like.
make that the first topic.
Shoot.
Might as well take advantage of it while we're here because yeah, I agree. I saw your video.
If I can find it. Shoot. Let me see if I can find it again.
I was going through the comment section and someone called you a racist, and I was like, "What?"
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I made the video first, and I saw Andy's video, and I was like, "Okay, I want to watch his video, see what's up." And I was going through the comment section, and people mostly agreed. I'd say most of them agreed. All of them agreed. And so one guy called you racist. He's like, "You sound like a racist." I'm like, I was gonna comment, but like, you know what, Dante, just be nice, whatever. don't start any beef. But I was like, wait, how is he racist? Because, well, one, you didn't say anything that was out of pocket. You were saying something that one, the Japanese are saying. Right. And
yeah, this is the Japanese that they were saying that, not me.
And your personal experience being in Japan as a guest while you were there, your personal observation. So I was like, how are you? What? I was gonna comment, but I was like, I'm gonna dial it back, whatever. People are entitled to your opinion, I guess. But I was just like, how? Because I made the same video too. Yeah, I made the same video. I was like, and I'm black. Like, hey,
Yeah,
Am I
it's-
racist?
Oh, I found it. I found it. I found the forum. Hold on. Let me share the screen. I found the forum. And I wasn't saying anything. It's just this. It's just numbers. It's just numbers.
But it's just
So-
not even numbers. It's not, and it's facts too.
Yeah, and it,
All right,
it
so here's
also
the-
depends, like Kishimoto having black characters in Naruto, like towards the end, was that was pretty, he made like the entire Cloud Village, like it was like almost like 75% black.
Yeah.
Right. And anyway, let's get into your article, Andy.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, but wait, hold on. Before we continue, I just want to say, just want to make a statement. So again, 98% Japanese in Japan, so they're very homogenous. 2% of that population is gaijin from other countries, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, but you got to understand, 2%. That means like the current Japanese population. There's 2 million foreigners in Japan, whether if it's tourists or living there, right? 2 million
Mhm.
2 million. No, excuse me, 2 million foreigners living in Japan. So, and you have to understand that most of those foreigners are actually Asian people from other Asian countries: Korea, China, Japan, Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnamese. And I actually embarrassed myself a couple of times. So when I went to Japan, I'm at Shibuya, and I'm walking around, and I think I went to one of the shrines, and there's people wearing a kimono. There's some girls wearing a kimono. I was like, oh shit, Japanese girl, this is so cute, right? So I say, excuse me, sumimasen, can I take a picture, right? And then they start speaking English, and I'm like, what the fuck? They start speaking English, and I'm like, oh shit, where are they from?
You're like, oh crap.
And then I found out like the girls, like they were like from Indonesia, right? And then like some of them were from like Philippines, from Vietnam, and they actually spoke English. Some of them spoke English, but you see, like the Asians from other countries were speaking English, but the Japanese struggled to speak English. You understand? So,
Mhm.
but most of the foreigners living in Japan are Asian people from other Asian countries, right? So that's what people don't understand. So even still, Americans, Africans, and Latinos in Japan are a very small minority, like less than 1%. That's what people don't understand.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. That's why a lot of anime and manga are based off of most of them based off of Asian people, Japanese people. I think it's silly to force foreign opinions on anime because anime and manga for one is a entertainment that is for the people of Japan. So if they don't want to have diversity in the anime, which by the way, don't quote me wrong or anything, guys, I am not against diversity in anime and manga. I'm just saying that if they choose to have diversity, it should be something that should come naturally. It should just flow. It shouldn't be forced upon them.
Like
it shouldn't be something.
Yeah.
Right. It shouldn't be something that it should get bullied into. Like there's no black people, there's no Hispanic people. It's like
what happens? You know what happens when you bully an artist? The art comes out very shitty, and I know because I draw.
Yes.
And I've actually written some novels and published them on the Kindle. But when an artist is bullied into doing something, it's either what the artist is gonna do. They're probably gonna use that as inspiration to talk shit about you in the fictional world.
Exactly.
Or it comes out very crappy.
It comes out either very crappy or there's no heart, there's no soul, and they use that supposed representation to make fun of the people that's being that they're forced into it.
Could I read one of the comments?
Yes, please.
Genesis Kaiser says it's almost as if Americans think every country is like them. This is like the Gen Z thing. They've been kind of like trained with these expectations in mind. Is that like if you're not reflected in all media, then it's like exclusive, and that's like when really like it's all about what fits the story, like what's required.
I agree with both Kaiser and Dash. Like Gen Z, even millennials, like the younger millennials, are people who are just feel entitled and feel as though the world needs to revolve around them, their feelings, their
Very arrogant.
ideals. Yeah, it's very arrogant, and it's just someone who comes from Africa. And I'm like, I get mad at this stuff too, because I can only imagine if I was writing a book and it's supposed to be a certain amount of people in it, and you're like, oh well, it'd be better if there were people of this, and that. I'm like, well, I didn't do that, so how about you get off my nuts?
Yeah, I'm gonna make
You
a video. People have been in the comment section. People have been pestering me about making a video about diverse manga, because there's this company. There's this like a new, I guess like publishing company called Saturday AM,
Okay.
right? And I don't know if you guys heard of them, but they're basically like it's run by African Americans, right? And it's
Okay.
basically diverse manga, like black people as the leads in the story, right? And it
Okay.
actually, and I've looked at their work. Like I've gone to their YouTube channel and wow, it looks really nice. Actually, like it looks really good. But it's like I don't like to focus on that. I don't like to look at a piece of artwork or read a story, a manga, and be like, oh my god, look, this is awesome because it has so
you
many.
gotta grade it on its own. Like
Yeah.
is it a good story? Like I still have not read my copy of Isum. I really should give that a review. I have it.
Oh, I mean, it's actually, well, I mean, the first book is actually, I like it. It's a good start. It's a good start to the
do you know when the second
story.
one's coming out?
It should come out this year. I subscribed to Eric July's newsletter, so it should come out sometime this year. He's working on book 2 and book 3, so I'm guessing by the end of this year he'll have book 2.
You know what? I wanted to buy the Isum book, not gonna lie, but maybe because of how Americans have mismanaged comics, that I've been turned off to comics, because like Andy said so well months ago, maybe weeks ago, that comics are so mismanaged to the point that if you wanted to get into it, that you don't know where to start. There's this generation, this thing, there's this, that, and and you just don't know where to start, where it stops, who dies.
Before all the woke stuff, I just find comics to be just very hard to really get into.
Exactly. You don't know what universe they're talking about, who died, who's Barry Allen, who's Wally West, who's this, who's that, and who's Clark Kent, who is this, who's that. It's like, all right, when I read manga or watch anime, there's one Naruto, there's one Boruto, there is one Shinji Ikari. This is
why I've come to really, really, really dislike multiverses and time travel shit.
Oh god, I hate it so much. It's been used and abused in comic verse for so long that if you're a newcomer, you don't know where to begin.
Yeah, like I've really come to dislike multiverses and time travel. I hate time travel stories. I really do.
It's just an easy retcon solution. It's much harder when it's people want that with after the Star Wars sequel trilogy, people were asking for them to open the floodgates and just use the multiverse to erase and undo the damage.
Exactly, like Dash said, time travel, multiverses is a cheap way to say, hey, I'm going to kill off Clark Kent. But it's okay, guys. In another verse, he's alive and he's good. He has a family of 5. It's like, guys, how about you guys make it to where the Clark Kent that we all know and love is alive, he gets old, or you keep on creating more stories to explain why he's been the same age for years, or who cares? Family Guy's been going on for years, and they haven't aged not a single damn bit since 15
Yeah,
plus
I mean,
years?
Naruto grew up. Naruto grew up and had kids, for God's sake.
Exactly. Not all animes they age. Some do, some don't. Yeah. Some cartoons they age, and some do, some don't. Who cares? It's comics. It's not real.
Crazy about Boruto, but I believe the story ends with the epilogue, but it's yeah, that's how I'd like.
That's what you did there. All
right. Yeah, but that's just my personal opinion. But Naruto grew up. He grew, he went from the the knucklehead to the leader.
Right. And let's see what Kaiser said. I can get the representation thing. If you happen to find a character you feel kinship to, I've done that, but I'm not going around expecting that to be a thing, nor does a character need to be that. And I agree. I found people who find kinship to Optimus Prime, Megatron, Starscream, Bumblebee. Like, we're not robots, but people love to hear Optimus Prime speak. They see him as a great leader in some shape or form. So they idolize that. They see some kind of relationship between themselves and Optimus Prime, right? I've seen myself a relationship between me and I bring it up Dante from Devil May Cry. I love the character. You know, he's not obviously black. He's very much white. But who cares? You know, that's the beauty of great storytelling. When you can create a character to the point where anyone can relate to them, no matter your race, your gender, that is how it's done. You know what I'm saying?
I would like to add that, like, you know, I think like some of the best characters are ones that like aren't human. Like, yeah, like, you know, like, because like, you know, in order to relate to them, you have to add bits of humanity. So you guys haven't seen Adventure of Dai, right?
No, I haven't seen it.
I think I saw the first episode.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's the base of like Dragon Quest,
yeah, it's a Dragon Quest like story, but
yeah, okay.
The best character is a crocodile man.
You
Are
see?
you serious?
Yeah. He starts out a villain and he becomes one of the good guys like later on.
You see, that's how storytelling is supposed to be. So if you can find relatability to any character, despite their, it could be an alien life form from God knows where, like Saiyans or robots in disguise, or they could be half demons or full-fledged demons. That's the beauty of it. That's what anime manga. That's what they prosper at, because you can watch an anime and you're like, I like that guy. I can relate to that guy. You know?
Seen Dai. He says Pop is awesome. Yeah, he does. He gets more powerful later on. He gets over that being a coward. Yeah, and Baron is scary.
But see, back to the article, like Andy's brought up, there are, I think the whole discussion on black characters or people of color, I hate that term, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't like
in
that one
anime
either.
and manga is one, like me and Andy and Dash have said, Japan is predominantly Japanese, Asian, 98% plus Japanese, right? They're making content for their people. All right. So if the people are mainly Japanese, they're making content for their people. It just
I want to add to that.
They still show up. I mean, you have a black character in My Hero Academia, a couple actually.
Yeah, Fire Force.
Fire Force has like 2 or 3 of them. The main bad guy, who's like brolic as shit, is black. Is one of the kids in the fire department or whatever they want to call him is black, and one of the captains is black or tan. I don't know if she's tan, but I think she's black. Fire Force does amazingly well in terms of representation for black people, and people love it. They ate it up like hotcakes.
Hey, your thumbnail, it had that girl from Bleach who's like some like samurai teacher. You know, I was never the biggest Bleach fan.
Yeah, see, Yoruichi from Bleach has been so popular. I've been watching Bleach since I was in college, and you know I'm 36 years old this year, so that's years ago. Until this day, Yoruichi is popular not just among people of color, but among everyone. Everyone loves Yoruichi. She's amazing. She's tough. She's strong. She's a leader, and of course, she's very sexy.
Yeah, really sexy.
So, that's what I love about anime manga. When they decide to represent people, at least recently, I can't speak of the past, but as of recent, when they represent us, right, they do it extremely well designed, and a character background.
The design, man.
It's amazing. Awesome. You know, even from the black guy from Attack on Titan, who's obviously African. I think I would argue he's Nigerian from my country, and people love the character. You know, that's what they do well at. It doesn't seem forced. It's not some, hey guys, look at me. We're making black people in our show. Come watch us. No, they're doing it because they want to create characters that people could enjoy. And
if you think back to High Guardian Spice, like the thing that was criticized the most about that trailer is that they didn't talk about the story or the characters. They apparently only talked about the identities and the genders.
And I hate that. Oh God, that is so true. American entertainment so far, they hyper emphasize the need to bring about. I'm also bisexual. I am also a furry. I am also a independent relationship. Like the new character from Overwatch 2. Everyone knows who he is, but every article about him is, well, you know, he's pansexual. Why do I care who he's fucking? I don't care who this guy is. I don't care who this guy is fucking.
Oh yeah, there was a funny meme about it's a funny meme about that. Like that, because like there was some unflattering Blizzard news when that character was announced, and someone had a theory that they just have all these checkbox characters to release, like for Overwatch, whenever a controversy comes out. Like,
dude, it's gotta be true. It's gotta be true. It's gotta be, man. They're like, oh, wait, hold on. We're in a bit of trouble here. All right, guys, make a character. He's gotta be Asian. He's gotta be real skinny, real fit, and he's gotta fuck everybody. Okay, you know, that's what they do. They gotta fuck everybody. So make that character, and maybe people will leave us the hell alone.
I wanted to add something about the, like when Japanese people create manga or anime. I'm saying this because like I used to have a anime radio show back like years ago, like in the 2012 2013 with my friend, and we actually interviewed a lady. She was an American lady. She used to promote Japanese rock bands. She had like a blog. I still don't know the name of the blog. I forgot, but so she says, this lady says that when Japan, like they're very inspired by America, but they don't think about America first. The first people that they actually think about when they're marketing, first they think of Japan, then they think of other Asian countries like Korea, China, maybe like Indonesia, Philippines, but the other Asian countries, right? And then they think about America. We're the last people that they actually think about. So when they create their characters, okay, that's another reason behind it. So I just kind of wanted to throw out there because, it's what's the word I'm looking for? Again, like I told you guys before, even the 2% of gaijin of foreigners in Japan are they're mostly Asian people from other Asian countries, right? So it's losing my train of thought here, but yeah. So America and the West, they actually think about us last, and there's nothing wrong with that. But whenever somebody makes these criticisms, like anime, they don't have enough characters of this color, or whatever, you have to keep this in mind.
Yeah, we're the secondary market. We're the secondary market.
Exactly. Like Asians come first,
right?
Because that is the first market.
I mean, then America does the same thing. They're thinking about that's why like Disney has to like edit all their stuff when they
put it in China, right?
China, they only think about the Western market, and then they have to cut a bunch of scenes and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, look at how much stuff like China cuts from American movies.
Yep. Not just China, a bunch of other countries when they get our movies.
Yeah, like India and other countries.
When it comes to LGBTQ stuff, not that I am in support of that, but that's just how their countries are.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing that people don't understand. It's like, China, Korea, and other countries. They cut out a lot of that LGBT stuff that Americans love to put into films nowadays. But they never say anything about that, huh? Right?
Yeah,
no, they don't.
They just lecture everyone else for not being inclusive enough and not understanding enough. But when you think about it, America is we are very good to other people in this country, and a lot more than But if you listen to the media, you'd think we were like this awful country that just wants to persecute everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But
Let's
this
move
article
on.
was before I did this article. My bad. I was
No,
like
go ahead.
real cautious about this article because I just felt I was going to get a lot of backlash. But surprisingly, got a lot of support, and so did you. So that's people get it, and that's a good thing. People understand what's going on, and I like that.
Yeah, things are changing, man. Things are really changing. Like, people are starting to really think like they're taking in context again, which is good.
Agreed.
All right. By the way, guys, let's move on to the next topic. And I guess actually, you guys cover this one. It's the Kotaku thing.
Oh yes. Oh, love this story. This
blacklisted by Nintendo. Okay, can you guys fill me in? I'm a little behind on this one.
Okay,
honestly.
So on 2021, Kotaku put out an article in regard to Metroid Dread. It had just dropped, and they were doing their review. While doing their review, talking about Metroid, the writer had, I guess in their own way, was saying, "Hey, Nintendo, don't listen to us. We're gonna say some stuff you may not like." They're basically antagonizing Nintendo, and they were saying in the article how the readers to basically emulate or hack.
Yeah, they had a how to emulate the game. Like, it was an article about like how to pirate Metroid Dread. I think it was because they hated how difficult the game was.
Yes, that's what it was. They didn't like how difficult it was, and they didn't like that people had to pay money to download or buy the retro Metroid game. So they were giving people, hey, hint, you can get this game if you just emulate it, if you pirate the game, or if
Kotaku was encouraging that?
Yeah. Kotaku.
Yeah, and I'm sure like they've done like other things too. Like Kotaku was also banned from a Final Fantasy 16 event for attacking Yoshi P. So like
weren't they the ones that wrote that article about Yoshi P saying, stop calling it JRPG?
They're the ones that started all that crap. Like, and then they were like surprised when they didn't get invited to a Final Fantasy 16 event now that it's getting closer to release.
Yeah, so they're getting like slaughtered left, right, front, back from not just Sony Final Fantasy, but they're also getting slaughtered by Nintendo. Nintendo is dropping, as you all know, the new Legend of Zelda game is gonna come out. It's gonna be great, and all these companies, because I watched, I think it was a GameSpot or someone who did a review about the game like yesterday or 2 days ago, but Kotaku did not get access to early preview because Nintendo has blacklisted Kotaku because 2 years ago, they were encouraging people in their way. Let's be honest here. They were encouraging people to pirate Metroid games, pirate Nintendo games. Now, if me and you did something like that, obviously you might get in trouble, but no one cares. No one gives a shit, right? But Kotaku, who's like known for being a anime journalist, game journalist blog, and like Polygon, The Verge, and
they're supposed to be the establishment.
Exactly, they're the established game journalist media crap. And they're not supposed to be encouraging people to say, "Hey, go get this game for free." And Nintendo was like, "Yeah, nah, we can't. We don't like y'all." So Nintendo has blacklisted them from winning the game. They can get the game. They can pre-order it like everybody else, like me and you guys
freebies,
can.
No gifts,
no freebies, no gifts. No early access.
Good.
No gift bags. No invite to Nintendo or whatever. They
don't deserve it. All they do is attack companies and other gamers, like that don't meet their stupid demands.
Exactly. And a lot of these game journalists are like bullies. When it comes to the gamer, Kotaku, Polygon, The Verge, and whatever, they're bullies, man. If you don't do what they want you to do, if there's a little bit too much spice in your video game, too much tickle bitties, there's too much straight men being extra like buff and machismo, masculine. The gamers, they lose their freaking minds. Oh my god, this straight man and his muscles, he thinks he's all of that. And it's just, I think game companies should just read their reviews and just be like, you know what? Since you hate us that much, you don't get early access.
I'm wondering, like, if Final Fantasy 13 came out today, like, I know, like, a lot of people dislike Snow, but I think, like, they'd absolutely hate him even more because like. And the funny thing is, yeah, he tries to like be the hero and he fucks up. That's like his story.
Yeah, you know what? And the thing is, like, I think a lot of games now that that came up in the past, a lot of these journals would hate them. Even like previous Dante, Devil May Cry 3 Dante, they would freaking hate him because he was cocky. He was obviously very masculine. He was obviously into flirting with women. He was into flirting with he flirted with Lady. He flirted with the devil, Nevon, or whatever her
and
name
Lady
was.
is an exact copy of his mom. Remind you.
That's Trish. Trish is a copy of his mom.
Oh yeah, Lady. I'm sorry, I got the two mixed up.
But you're right. But in Devil May Cry 1, he did flirt with Trish. And then in the anime, he still flirts with Trish and Lady. Dante is a playboy, half demon, mega powerful machismo man.
He's
in this
the
day and
Giga
age,
Chad.
yeah, he's a Giga Chad. They would freaking hate him. I'm surprised they ever had a hit article or a hate article about Dante right about now because he is all that they hate.
Wow. Yeah,
Well,
I think I missed a lot.
Dante's too loved.
Oh, let me read the comments real quick.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Somebody says TM Writer says there's a character named Coffee, a bounty hunter mistress from Cowboy Bebop. Really? Character named Coffee. You guys know about that?
I don't know.
I mean, that could be. Let's see, Cowboy Bebop, Coffee about. I'm trying to think. Oh yes, the black chick with the afro, right? TM Writer. She's a bounty hunter, I think. She was smoking cigarettes. I forgot who she was chasing after, but she's like, bro, she is bad. I mean, for like older anime stuff, like she looks amazing. If you Google her right now, type in Coffee Cowboy Bebop, her body,
actually, yeah.
Look at her body. Coffee Cowboy Bebop.
Oh my god.
Look at her. Exactly.
Oh wow.
Look at that.
Yo, she looks like she's straight up from like the 80s, man. Like,
yeah. This is
that's crazy.
Hey, I got another one. Type in a Space Adventure Cobra Android.
Space
Android
Cobra.
Androids.
Android, is there a number or just Android?
Or no, I forget. Like there were these I think they were these enhanced women in the prison episode. Like they die very quickly, but one of them was black.
What's her name?
I don't know.
Oh,
I think she did have a name, but it was like one episode, and the subtitles go really fast. No, that's
yeah. Okay, that's not working.
Yeah,
all right. Well,
we might not find the like.
All right. Well,
a very minor character.
All right, we got a little bit off
I'm
topic.
Just really loving that show.
Let's check out these comments though, if you guys don't mind. Kaiser High Garden Spice is just a crappy Magic Knight. Ray Earth lyrical. Not I can't pronounce that, bruv. But look up the cost of Ray Earth, and also look up Signum of lyrical Nanoa. It says Sigmus looks like the kid's mom. Hail Andy. Carlson says, "Hey Andy, Matrix and Company. What up, Carl? Was good. Was that your favorite Martian reference? Was it?
What?
I think I said something that may have been a reference to something. My mistake. Dragon Super said hi. Tim Ryder read that. And Brandon, don't forget about Bayonetta. She was too sexy and appealing to men. They especially melted down when they found out she was into. Yo, Brandon, yes, we did discuss. I did discuss this. I did like 4 videos on Bayonetta.
Oh yeah,
check those
about
out.
her sexuality.
When Bayonetta first came out years ago, right? I first got the game.
Mm-hmm.
It was my thing. It felt like a female version of Devil May Cry, which, if you think about it, it really much is. Bayonetta is Dante, Jean is Virgil, and the new kid from the future is Nero. We're not. That's exactly what it is. It's a carbon copy of Devil May Cry, except Dante is a demon and Bayonetta deals with angels. But when the game first came out, people were like, "Oh my god, her fan servers, the tickle bitties are everywhere. Her legs are too long and her butt's too big. Men love this stuff. It's so misogynistic." And now all of a sudden, years later in the future, now she is a LGBTQ icon. What? How did we go from she's all about the male?
But she's
gaze?
not, right? She's not.
No,
She's not LGBT. Okay.
it is from what we've all.
She's bi at the most, but she clearly likes dudes.
Yes.
Yeah, she just got very flirty with John in the second game.
Yes, exactly. Dash said, if anything, she is bi, but she is to say that she's not into men is crazy because in part 1, she says how much she does not want to have babies. However, the act of having babies.
Oh yeah, I remember that line.
Yeah, is
I
what
remember
she
that
loves.
line.
Now to have babies, you gotta do the horizontal boogie. So she likes she likes peen. He likes so
What?
she likes. I didn't say the full word. I said she has peen. She likes peen. So
What?
She likes peace.
she likes peen. P-E. And finish it up. P-E-N-I.
Okay.
She likes peen. Yeah. So like Dash said, I if anything, I agree with that. I thought she was straight, but I'll say if anything, she would be bisexual. But to say she just strictly lesbian or she just whatever is just ludicrous, is blasphemy. And guys, people don't understand. Men love games like Bayonetta. We love games like Lollipop Chainsaw. Yes, they're female protagonists. They look sexy. They're razzle dazzle and whatnot. But we like that stuff. Okay, they're badass. Yeah. They got guns on their shoes. What else?
And you know what? We like Laura Croft. We it's not like we hate like video game women entirely. That was just a made up video game narrative by like journalists.
It's such nonsense. Men don't like women, bro.
If you think about it, that made up nonsense about guys hating female characters, that actually worked. Like, I mean, I hate to say it, but like it actually generated a lot of buzz for them. I mean, negative buzz, obviously, but
negative,
like
very negative because it put us in a very negative light.
Like these people are kind of evil. Like they always make these fake ass narratives, and then, but and that's how people end up hating them. Anyway,
and people run with it.
That's
like,
why people hate them. Like it's why like that to this day they're still bringing up what happened with Gamergate because like that was like the first time anyone really like push back, and then like even though they slandered that movement to the high heavens, like trying to like conflate it like with other things, like they're still like blaming it for stuff, and like a lot of people think it's just because like it's when like everything got exposed where like people saw that they didn't have gamers' best interests, that they had their own things and that they protect their own. And you know what? And we see what that now, like, a lot of companies are just laying off staff in all the really like the corporate media stuff. Like everything else is really just going to YouTube now.
And honestly, I feel bad for maybe there's some of the good journalists who are out there who are just trying to review games. But like a lot of these people who gain most of the attention, who talk about that bull crap, I just hope they're all fired. Like I'm so
sick. We don't need them. They made gaming worse. They made gaming more toxic. They've really just like people like this kind of ruined nerd culture,
right?
In so many ways.
They'll write an article and say, "Well, here's an article about this video game, and guess what? She is polyamorous." Like, why do I care about?
Let me ask you guys a question, because Dash just said something like Dash just said that they ruined nerd culture. Mm-hmm. How would you like to go back to at least the 2000s when it comes to all this stuff?
That was great. That was great.
Because you look at this now, you look at everything now, and at least it's like nerd culture was ruined because all the cool kids now got into it. And now they want to act like oh yeah, this was always cool.
This is exactly. Like I
like to have a time machine, just go back.
Dude, it was better.
Things were simple without like
yep,
Twitter and shit like that. Where like now like there's drama, but honestly, I do think things are improving in a lot of different ways, and in some ways it seems like they might be getting worse, but in other ways things are kind of getting better. It's just going to be like a little bit while before, like, you know, it's going to be slow. Like that, we didn't get here overnight, and we're not going to get out overnight.
You know what? I
True.
I hate to be that guy, but I kind of disagree. I do. I'm sorry because things like I remember back in the day. Remember how you used to look forward to reading Game Informer magazines? Remember those days?
Oh yeah,
You used to look forward to reading
Oh,
magazines
yeah.
because on the cover there was Dead or Alive and like hot, sexy girls and Dead or Alive, and you look forward to stuff like that. Or Dante, Don't Make Cry, it's, 6-pack abs, and you didn't care. You read it, and you took it for what it was, and you enjoyed it. All of its perversion, all the gaming knowledge, all the whatever. Now it's very much anti everything you used to love and you still love, and they're getting all the attention. It's not getting better, unfortunately, because
Yeah.
like that, like Andy said, the popular kids who were the losers who weren't really into nerd culture. Now they're into nerd culture because there's money in it, and now they want to change what we grew up with. They want to change what we love. And oh my God, this guy's misogynistic. How dare he look at her tits as she's running, or look under her skirt? Like who cares? Who cared? We played this long ago, and no one cared back then, and we don't care now. And they're running the show, unfortunately. So I do think that yes, we've come far, but not in a positive way. I do think that the clowns have taken over the circus, right? And they are imposing their ideologies on us. And if we don't conform to their ideologies, we're going to be isolated from this culture, or be called bigots, or all the other buzzwords you could think of.
I want to add something to that.
That's why you push back. Like, at the end of the day, all these things are industries, and you need like customers. Like, look at Disney. Have you say like Disney has found a way to make Star Wars like lucrative? Have they replaced all the fans they tried to chase out?
No,
exactly.
They haven't.
Even the franchise as big as Star Wars is failing. Think about that.
Yeah, so I do agree with you, Dante, because like I made a video about I really love Kingdom Hearts, right? But then I made a video saying like, now that Disney has gone crazy, is Kingdom Hearts also gonna be gonna become like that?
I saw that video. Good point, actually.
Yeah. And it's like it's just this apprehension that people have nowadays. It's like, but like when the Matrix came out, like when the new Matrix movie came out, the Matrix 4, I was like, oh wow, okay, a new Matrix movie. I know they're gonna do something. It's like you just know, okay, so they're rebooting this, or they're making this new game. What are they gonna do? The first thing that comes to mind is, what are they gonna do to mess it up?
Yeah,
that's how a lot of people feel nowadays, and that's why it was so refreshing to see the Mario movie.
By the way, I saw the Mario movie 2 days ago. Great.
Oh, what do you think?
I loved it. Real quick, TM Writer, that's correct. Thank you, Brandon, the anime guy. Dude, I wish there's a way I can get Brandon into the chat. I mean,
I can send him the link
into the live so he could join us. That'd be freaking great.
I'll send him my link.
Brandon,
do you have Brandon on Twitter?
Yeah,
Brandon is an amazing anime YouTuber, guys. Brandon is freaking awesome. I meant to join his live today, but I had an unfortunate family incident that happened this morning. But me and Brandon's got to link up and talk that good stuff. But Brandon's great. Brandon's freaking great. And
yes, Kotaku, sure. We can send him a link.
I'm
Kotaku sucks. Agreed. But yes, listen, I would love for us to return to a normal time where we could read a journal, an article about games, and the first thing you don't see is, well, the main character happened to be a black guy. It's like, all right. Well, guess what? We can fucking see that by playing the game. we know what he is. You don't gotta tell us what he is. What about the game is going to sell? The action, the story, the plot, the work, the cheat codes and whatever. Like, bring us back to that. Now we need to read articles about video games or even anime. The first thing you see is identity. Who they're fucking, what their race is, where they come. It was like, bro, but it's so pathetic. It's so freaking sad.
It's what the media cares about. But it's not what the fans care about. Like, it's just what like the media and a few like people on social media care about. Most
by
people
the way,
are
guys,
into the story and the characters.
But
And deep down, like a lot of these companies, they know this. That's why like they can't always like go like too far with this stuff. But then when they do, like when things go too far, well, you get a Bud Light situation.
Yeah,
Oh
but,
my
but you
God,
see,
yeah.
exactly like the Bud Light situation, right? The small people, like Dash said, the small amount of people who are talking about this stuff, they are the loudest. And because they're the loudest people in the room, companies, that would even include anime manga to a small extent, especially game companies, they listen to the loudest, annoying, obnoxious people, and then they give into their demands. Well, you want this? Sure, we'll do this. You want that? Okay, fine, we'll do it. We'll do whatever you want. Just don't cancel us. Oh boy. Okay,
Hey guys, guys, sorry for interrupting, but I want to move on to the next topic. We got a few more to go.
Yeah,
so
is Brandon in?
I don't see him. I don't see.
Plot
I
twist.
sent him a link.
Oh wait, here it is. Here he is. Hello,
man.
Brandon.
Anime guy, what is up, bruv?
What's going on?
Oh yes, I have my own intro music.
Oh, nice. Nice.
That is what I call an intro. Nice.
What an entrance!
I
Oh
like
yes,
that. I like that.
gentlemen, how are you doing today?
Really fun.
Yeah,
Really
nice
nice,
having
man.
you here, buddy.
Thank you.
This is great. I like this group. I like this group over here.
Thanks for joining us, anime guy. You are. I
Absolutely.
watch your
Oh,
streams.
man.
I watch, and I'm at work. I watch your streams. They are very entertaining. I really do enjoy your videos, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and the videos that you all do are fantastic. And Andy, it's a pleasure to meet you. And Dash, it's been too long, my friend. It's always good to see
How
you.
are you doing, man?
I'm doing well, and I just the level of stupid that comes from certain corners of the interwebs and the Twatterverse and from the Kotakus of the world is just enough to. It's
I feel your
yeah.
pain, man. I feel your pain.
It's very painful, but that's why we exist, to not only crush them, but to kick them in the balls and then, send them on their way.
Goddamn right.
The problem is they like it. They like the pain. They like the punishment.
they come back for more every single time.
Exactly.
They love the pain. Yeah, I think there's truth to that. Yeah, there's.
Yeah, so I laughed myself silly when Nintendo said, Kotaku, no.
Well, freaking deserved.
Oh, absolutely. But here's my thing. I understand the why they did it. But on the flip side, I hate to defend Kotaku at all, but I have to in this one regard.
Mm-hmm.
They're not wrong about the emulation bit.
I agree with that. That is somewhat true. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, that's been Nintendo's problem. With the exception of maybe two systems, they were behind the 8-ball technology-wise. The N64, you see, that one's kind of a tough one because I think the PlayStation and in the right hands, the Saturn were vastly superior to it. Mm-hmm. But being primarily a 3D only system, yeah, if in the right hands, Rare, they did a good job. They could do it, but they're about the only ones that could really pull that off. And then the GameCube, it was way better than the PlayStation 2. The PlayStation 2 technically was the dog of that generation.
The generation, right?
Yeah. The Dreamcast was powerful, but it was 2 years earlier. Had Sega held off if they could have held off just a bit longer, they could have gone with their Naomi 2 board instead of their Naomi 1 board. That would have made a huge difference. But the PlayStation 2 was relatively easy to program for, hence why there was just a crap ton of shovelware along with all the good stuff. But the GameCube itself, technically speaking, was better than the 2, better than the Dreamcast, and on par in almost all situations with the original Xbox. Almost. So, but after that, you get the Wii, which is just a a step like I think it was only twice as powerful as the Cube, but it was way behind the 360 and way the hell behind the
The
Wii
PS3.
was cool.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
The Wii was very
The
innovative.
Wii
That
made
was
up with Virtual Console and having some pretty good games and some not so good games.
Yeah, that was the problem with the Wii. If you could program for it properly, you could make it do all sorts of cool stuff, but that system was so full of bullshitware. It was awful on the shovelware side of things. Putrid. And then the Wii U.
Oh God, the Wii U.
But that was the last time that
never
any
get
of
to
these
play the Wii
systems
U.
used a Power PC RISC-based processor. They all switched to x86 until Nintendo decided to go with with the ARM-based processors in the Switch, which was a good idea. But we've seen we're at that point. Even when the Switch came out, it was vastly underpowered in comparison to a base Xbox One. And the Xbox One was the dog between it and the PS4, just the base ones, the original ones, not the revisions or the X's or even with the current Series X or PS5. So I do not blame anyone who has a Nintendo system from the 3D era, so GameCube forward, using an emulator, including for the Switch. And I can attest for myself, the Wii U emulator, the last version of Cemu, it makes Breath of the Wild look absolutely fantastic.
You see, now that's why I said for Kotaku to do something like that, because they are established in media, that's where they jacked up, because they are not allowed to push something like emulation, hacking, and stuff like that. Where when no one talks about us, like we can do whatever you want, and can say whatever you want, but Kotaku, The Verge, The Gamer, Polygon, but buying into comics, they can't say stuff like that because
my thing is game preservation. That's like my thing. I support like giving if it's legally available, or if there's like missing content on the newest version, because sometimes like with these re-releases, they take like
Resident Evil 4
with the Chrono Cross re-release, changing the dialogue for absolutely no reason.
Yeah, all that stuff drives me crazy. I've owned and I've had almost all of these systems at one point, but I had to downsize to practically nothing. So I am absolutely 100% on board on traditional preservation when possible, but realizing that a lot of these hardware, some of this hardware didn't sell that great, and they're dying at a quicker clip than I think that they were expecting. So I'm 100% for emulation for preservation.
Yeah, also it's like Nintendo and even PlayStation, they're not trying to like preserve games,
No, they're not.
That's the problem. And fans are asking for it, but they're not doing anything about it. So as a result, people are like, okay, F you, I'm gonna go and download it somewhere on the dark side of the internet. They can't
get mad if they don't provide the product. I mean, Nintendo is a little bit starting to again with the Switch Online, but you're not doing it fast enough. They still need the GameCube, and they still need to put Path of Radiance, the original localization, on there. Yeah, because that's one of my favorite games of all time, and it talks about a very touchy subject. And I'm not sure, hey, have you ever played Path of Radiance?
No, I haven't.
No,
I haven't. No.
Okay,
I heard about it.
Okay, so it has a really big racism subplot. And some of it's pretty over the top. So the animal people, the Laguz, there's animosity between them and the humans called Bjark, but to them human is a slur. And so but the humans they call the Laguz, they call them subhumans. The dialogue is very it does not it's a pretty but it's a really good game. I love the story. I love Ike as a character. I love that world. That was such a great game.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff that's on the Cube that has never been virtual consoled anywhere else yet.
Yeah, the GameCube was so awesome. I love the GameCube, and I keep wondering how come they don't bring some of those games back.
I think Nintendo's ashamed of it.
I had to go back and buy some of the GameCube games because I just fell in love with a lot of GameCube games.
F-Zero is a good example. Why haven't we had a new F-Zero?
Yes, Jesus Christ, bring back
I
F-Zero.
want to play more Biorex. He's so
Yep.
cool.
Or the Twin Snakes.
Oh, hey, Brendan, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so since we're talking about gaming, why do you think that Sony? What do you think that Sony doesn't like RPGs and Japanese RPGs specifically anymore? Like I know they become
Yeah.
like a more of an American company now. They sold out. They don't care about Japan anymore. I know.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah,
I mean,
sucks.
Japanese JRPGs have been selling tens of millions of copies for decades, and now they're like, whatever. We don't care anymore. What do you think?
Well, you hit part of it. Sony Computer Entertainment no longer has a Japanese studio. That's the first part. Second part is they have moved all of Sony Computer, anything regarding software and gaming is no longer based in Japan. They are based out of San Francisco, California, and or the Santa Monica or the Santa Monica area. So they have taken.
Oh my God!
The only part of Sony that really is truly still Japanese is their consumer electronics division. Their movie division's not there. All their studios that they have, all the first party studios, second party studios that they back, they're the Naughty Dogs of the world. They're the whatever other ones that have done. See, that shows you how far.
Press square to do a thing games.
Yeah, and they have been putting a lot of pressure on these various other larger companies like Squeenix to do stupid shit.
Squeenix.
Yeah. I like that. I'm gonna steal that actually.
Yeah, Squeenix.
Nice.
Well, if you look at Squeenix, they kind of started doing the same thing. Capcom also kind of did the same thing.
Noticing a lot of bad things with Capcom lately.
Well, if you remember, what were a lot of the games that Capcom was coming out with during, let's say, about 2010 to 2014, prior to the PS4. So PS3 era stuff and 360.
Well, they got Dead Rising. Awesome.
Who developed it?
DMC4,
Yeah, well,
right?
that was for the most part they had the Capcom Vancouver. They had each game had less and less Japanese oversight until it ended with 4 that killed the series.
Oh wow, really?
Yep.
Holy shit.
Capcom went Western.
I had a feeling. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Now, there is a game that they put out that it looks good, and I think it technically plays good, but it exemplifies the problem that they had, that a Japanese studio has when they decide to turn away from the roots. And after all of this, they corrected course for the most part. Now they're creeping back in with, redoing all the Resident Evils, but taking just a few of the things that made them distinctly Japanese and trying to appease the white liberal Karens of the world.
Oh yeah.
But let me see if I can find it. Here it is.
Okay, I'm curious what this game is.
All right. Now I've owned this on the PS3, and I also own it on the computer.
You can share your screen. By the way.
Yeah, I'm sharing. I'm just.
You have to allow permission.
There we go. Okay, here it is. Remember Me.
There we go.
I remember that game.
I remember
I remember that
Play
game.
it, but I remember that was a Capcom game. I thought that was Ubisoft.
Publisher, Capcom. Developer, Not Entertainment. Director, Jean-Maxime Maurice. It's basically a French game. Or the developers are probably French Canadian, going with that whole motif of a lot of these studios opened up Canadian branches, because especially in Montreal, because at the time the Canadian government was doing things that were very friendly for them to do it, and then they decided to close that trap, and now they've closed most of these studios. This game, in and of itself, isn't bad. It's actually very pretty looking. I need to switch screens again, since when I clicked that, it opened up a new one. Let me share my new screen here. There we go. But the gameplay and everything about it did not scream Capcom. It screamed Western studio game. And that's not it. Wrong. Remember me. we ain't talking about that.
It's kind of like the same way. Like, you know, in some ways, I really do like it. But like you could see, like the casualization was like, you know, was like seeping in, like, you know, especially how overpowered you get with the skill tree.
Exactly.
Hey, anime guy, would that be why in Devil May Cry 5 they toned down the sex appeal of Lady and Trish? Because
most likely
people didn't see it, and I'm a huge diehard Devil May Cry fan. And when I first saw Trish and Lady, my first thought was, "What the hell happened to them? They
still looked hot."
I'm not saying they were not hot, but like comparing them to the sex appeal from Devil May Cry 4. Devil May Cry 4, they wore more revealing clothing. Their tickle bitties were more revealing and stuff like that. Whereas in Devil May Cry 5, they're more covered up compared to Devil May Cry 4. And even Devil May Cry 3 and 1. Like Devil May Cry 5, they just covered them up completely as much as they could to not like maybe chase away fans. But I noticed it. I didn't want to say anything about it, but I noticed it immediately.
When did Devil May Cry 5 come out?
I would say about 2-3 years ago. Like, maybe, right? About 4?
Devil May Cry 5.
Let me see. Devil May Cry 5.
It was a great game.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I just noticed the fact that the girls didn't look how
didn't Sony censor Trish's butt? Like, in the... And then they had to uncensor it because of pushback or something?
I wouldn't even doubt it if that happened. Release date.
Yeah, there was a blinding light that like censored Trish's butt.
Oh, wait, in 5, is it Trish or Lady?
I think it was Trish.
Oh, it came out March 8, 2019. That's when Devil May Cry 5 came out, I believe.
It wouldn't surprise me if this had more of the newer Western influence on it. It wouldn't. Well, it depends on how long it was in production. So if it came out then, let's say at least a 2, maybe 3-year cycle, they should have broken from that. But even with them returning more of their focus and more of their development back to their Japanese studios, Capcom does have the woke wanker streak in them, and I think
by the way, one of the reasons why a lot of some Japanese companies are leaving Japan is because the excuse is the graying population. You know, the population getting older, people not having enough kids. So they I think the way that they see it is almost like, they don't see a future in Japan like they used to, right? Because one of the reasons for the longest time since the 1960s all the way to like the early 2000s. Like Japan, the internal economy in Japan was strong because they had 120 million people, right? 120 million people, and Sony could sell to their population and make billions of dollars, right? But as things started to change, and the economics and all that stuff, now they're like, well, I don't know, things are not looking good here. Maybe we should go to America where they're going to tell us what to do and what to change.
I do think
they
compromise.
They compromise. Yeah,
that might be a problem.
To be a factor, and also I think Japan underestimates how much of the American population is woke. Like they hear all they hear is our news, and if all they listen to was like the cable news. And those outlets translated, you'd think our whole country was woke.
I can't blame them. ABC, NBC, CNN, MSNBC is basically everything.
Yeah. Anything.
Yeah, the news especially.
Yeah, anything broadcast-wise is, and Japan do have a population problem that they are going to face. From what I understood, they do have their population right now at about 125-ish, give or take. The average age of their population, I believe, has crept up either into the 50s or into the 60s.
Yeah, that's not good, man. That's crazy.
No, that's not good. So here, basically, once all the people, let's say post World War II, after their initial economic boom, so we'll go from people born maybe 20 years older than me, that puts them right in that 60s. They're gonna once that generation, so that would be my mother's generation, once they start to really truly die out, they're expecting their population to crater to around 75 million.
Damn.
Wow.
That's
scary,
hurts. Man. Yeah, so that does potentially explain a few things, but I'm hoping that the kids that they are having, that they do have, they hold fast to what they have and start basically, start fucking again. They're not doing enough of that.
Get in the bed.
There's no easy way to say that.
No, there is no easy way to say
it. You gotta start making.
You gotta start doing the
more
boogie
crotch
boogie.
goblins, more horizontal boogies. Get it done.
Yeah, do the horizontal boogie, man, because otherwise there's no future.
Exactly.
But you know what they should do? You know what they should do? Instead of taking like moving the companies out of Japan into America and then like messing it up here with all the what stuff, why don't they just get more people from the West over to Japan to work there in Japan instead of
they don't want our influence.
Happening. I think that is
I can't blame them, honestly.
But I mean over there they're in control though.
Yes, but they've always been very tight about who comes to their country, who can immigrate to their country, even in the face of this true population bomb. Now, there's a lot of people that say we face the same thing here in the States, hence why we need to have, all the, anybody that's legal, illegal, etc., just rushing over the border at all times because, we...
Oh, careful. YouTube's going to come after us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the point of that is they could start repopulating themselves. But until they get that population bump again, will they let people in? Should they let people in?
The Japanese?
Yeah, the Japanese. They could, but even still, I don't think they will. This is something...
No, they won't. They never have.
Well, they never have.
I don't want any more Western influence in Japan.
Well,
exactly. Neither do I.
I like it the way it is, honestly. I like it the way it is.
What really needs to happen is there needs to be a culture shift in the West away from woke to a more centrist, more fair mindset. And that's where if there is no more pressure to be woke, they won't be putting it on Japan, and then our games won't get screwed up.
Exactly.
Okay, I can see.
I've got a few people that I know that live over in the Asian Pacific Rim and do go to Japan quite often. I will ask them if, in the face of this population time bomb that they're facing, are they getting more laxed about how many people they let in, how many gaijins they let in, or are they still staying strict?
I was just talking about this. So remember, guys, when I told you Japan is 98% Japanese. They're very homogeneous.
Yes.
And then 2% of the population are foreigners, but most of those foreigners are actually from other Asian countries. So they are letting more and more people into their country, but it's mostly other Asians. So even then, the Americans and Western people are actually still a minority, Oh,
a massive minority.
So and I was saying that, when I went to Japan in 2019, before the pandemic, when the world went crazy, right? So I got kind of lucky. So
with the virus of unknown origins.
Right, exactly. Yeah, with the virus of unknown origins.
Drinker calls it.
Right. So then when I went there, I will go to these shrines and I will go to these, attractions where a lot of tourists go, and I will see what I thought was Japanese women wearing kimonos, right? And then I will go and I will, Japanese, I'll be like, sumimasen, right? Can I take a picture? And they start speaking English. I'm like, what the fuck? And it turns out that they're actually from Vietnam, Philippines, Indonesia, Korea, China, right? So there's a lot of, most of the immigrants over there are still from other Asian countries.
They look closer.
Get some more.
Yeah, they look closer to how they look as opposed to how we look, as far as us as Americans being the great melting pot, so to say.
Yeah, indeed the great melting pot.
Yeah, if I tried to go over there, they'd say I'd look like everything else, even though, in my ancestry, I've got pretty much from all over the various parts of Europe, from as far as, Wales and Ireland, all the way over to Germany. But it's just a thing that's part of their thing. We can differentiate that because we know, and in the U.S. we have that to that level of distinction in some ways. But for them, you're exactly right. They don't. They would look at all of us and say, "Who the hell are you? Why are you here?"
Exactly. Like, I'd go there and they'd be like, "Oh, you're just."
But
you're
it's
Black
only
American."
natural.
I'm like, well, I'm actually African. I'm literally.
Yeah, literally
Yeah,
African.
I'm
You also got to
Nigerian.
understand.
I would love for I guess to be a consultant on one of these games, so I could tell them what Westerners really want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'd be
like
nice,
an actual
but
fan.
the Capcom, they do have some Western tentacles, I think, still, and we're seeing some of that influence go, and hence why with Mega Man Battle Network they've got that disclaimer at the beginning.
That was a dopey disclaimer. Glad
Yeah,
they
stupid
didn't
shit like
censor it.
that.
I'm glad they didn't censor it, but they didn't need to add "we support diversity." They didn't need to add that.
Yeah, that's
It's
woke
crazy how
wanker
they-
Western crap.
The difference.
At least they
between
didn't censor the game.
Yeah,
the Japanese
they did the less
warning
evil,
compared
but
to
it's
American
still
warning is
dumb.
completely different.
Oh, I bet it is. And at least it's not Chinese censorship where blood gets turned to something
white
else.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my
So when
God.
blood is when power is having some blood, it doesn't. I don't think they thought that
Yeah,
through.
that white
They
stuff.
definitely think that
That white
through.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh no way!
I'm like, what is that? Oh
Yeah,
God.
they did that, and there's a cell out there
Yeah.
that has the blood changed from its reddish color to a let's say a white substance type color. Even though it's still the same thing, it just looks it looks wrong and it looks weird.
Yo, Brandon.
Exactly,
There's actually
Otaku. Exactly.
there's actually a great YouTube documentary called "The Rise and Fall of Dead Rising" that kind of explains. This is how I learned a lot about how Capcom's shift to the West and how it actually created and destroyed Dead Rising in the process. So on one hand, it gave us something beautiful. We got 2 really good games and then one pretty okay game. Then we got this really awful game that just killed the entire series. And now it's all Resident Evil, Resident Evil, Resident Evil.
That's the second.
Resident Evil up until people stop buying it. They're going to milk that stuff.
That's the second problem with Capcom. They're falling into the same trap that Disney is in, the whole remake thing. Remakes are fine and dandy to a point, but how many times have they gone back and messed with Resident Evil 4?
Yeah, quite a bit. Remember, they did the VR. That was an initial catastrophe where they took out the dialogue and flirting, and the censorship began, and then just got worse from there.
Well, you have, let's see, if I remember correctly, it originally came out on
GameCube.
I want to say, was it the GameCube first, or was it the PlayStation 2
It came out
first?
as a GameCube exclusive. I think that got broken and went to the PlayStation. And then it got ported to every console after
to the
that.
Wii.
Even the Wii U.
Yeah, the Wii. Yeah, the Wii had a version of it. They had the original PC release, and I think on the PC, it's been messed with at least twice, if not 3 times. This current iteration, I think, is the 3rd one they've done.
Yeah, so they have Resident Evil Original, which came out for GameCube.
Yep.
As an exclusive. Then they have Resident Evil VR, which is for Meta.
Yeah,
and
that
Quest.
one's the most censored, and that one's the most
That's the
egregious
most
because
censored
it's
version.
the original one, and they removed stuff. Whereas, the new remake, it has liberties because they changed the art direction, and the whole tone of the story is kind of altered because of that new darker, gloomy vibe, which I'm really not a fan of.
But the VR definitely took out a lot of the flirtation stuff between the characters. That's where it all like really began, and then Capcom just took it to the next level.
I think part of that was Facebook like imposed a lot of that.
Yes,
because I think the Switch version is just like the original. Like, you know, I haven't like, you know,
I haven't played that either. Okay, good point.
Yeah, like, you know, I have the PC Steam version, but I hear like, you know, that has some bugs and stuff. So maybe I'll just get it again on Switch.
Let's see, not as much Street Fighter 2 though. Besides, the lamest gamer sold 10
But yeah,
million
I love
copies.
Resident Evil 4. It's a great game. I do like that people did enjoy the remake, but for me, I just couldn't get behind like the doom and gloom. Like just make everything darker and it's somehow supposed to be spookier. Didn't agree with that.
If I remember correctly, the original PC version basically was, I think, the GameCube version or closer to it. But then I think it had a second release which had an HD update pack. Then they did a third release that had another higher definition pack, and then we have the remaster one that we have now. So this particular game has been touched way more than I think a game should. It's not quite... no, that's almost as bad as The Last of Us. How many times can it be released on practically the same hardware? So you got the PlayStation 3 release, the updated PlayStation 4, and now the PS5 version, and really the differences, especially between the 4 and the 5, are almost none. The tech hasn't really changed that much, and I don't think they included any of the higher end ray tracing
it's so
effects.
Stupid to remaster a game that already got remastered. Like I got the remastered version when the show came out because I wanted to catch up on what was being changed and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like I don't know. I just got out of the Bill's place, and I don't know. I like the game. It's pretty cool. It's pretty hard. I'm kind of stuck, but yeah, it's an all right game. But yeah,
real quick,
I just think The Last of Us is just kind of an overrated franchise.
Oh yes.
Real quick, just 2 comments. Otaku the Great. So in truth, Battle Network rejuvenated the franchise. All the units sold in a week. That game did sell well. And Brandon said it was time exclusive on the GameCube. Yes, very true.
A lot of these legacy collections sold well. Like a lot of people thought Mega Man X was going to come back when that came out. And no, I don't know. I think Capcom's just afraid of making another Mega Man game without the creator, the same guy who created Dead Rising. I forget his name.
I don't know. Capcom, I think, has run out of. I think they're in the same position that Disney is right now. They've run out of ideas, and they're just trying to milk everything. Street Fighter 6, fine, dandy. We've got Tekken 8 coming out. Namco could be accused of the same thing from that front. But if you look at the character models that they're doing, I especially noticed it with Cammy. She's still pretty to look at, but they changed her a lot.
Yeah, I made a video about that, and a lot of people were telling me, "Oh, you're just a pervert. You just want to look at her butt."
Yeah, you got wrecked in the comment section. I was like, "Whoa, what is that?"
Out of the woodwork, like whenever you talk about sex in video games, like
but Andy's video got wrecked, dude. I saw the video and I saw the comment section. Like, bro, what is this? But you were not wrong. I mean, I covered it too, but I didn't really go into detail about her costume and her looks.
I heard something that they're doing a custom fire thing, and they got a pronoun system in Street Fighter 6.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's so stupid. So the last Street Fighter I played was 4, and there's just something about these games when they moved to a 3D model as opposed to a pixel art model. It just lost its appeal. But with Tekken,
I was always more of a Mortal Kombat guy. A little bit easier for me. I can never really get good at Street Fighter.
I haven't been good at Street Fighter in a long time.
Yeah, the 2D. I prefer Street Fighter as 2D. Man.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking to the old school stuff.
Yeah, I think the last Capcom game that I really, truly, fully enjoyed, start to finish, it probably was Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I
Ah,
did
That's
like
legendary. That is
I do like
legendary.
Capcom versus SNK. I do like that. But the third Marvel vs. Capcom was okay, but I'm very on the fence about its use of 3D models for the characters as opposed to sprite based. But all the major studios, that's the way they've gone. But the best games currently being made, they're using high def sprites.
Oh, hey guys, really quick. So, because we're almost about to close. So,
Yeah.
I wanted to bring this up. Let me share my screen. It's about hold on. Miyamoto says the Mario movie got bigger over negative Western reviews, right?
Mhm.
So wait, let me share that. Hold on a second. Before
great
we,
movie, by the way. I saw it 2 days ago, and I don't know why it gets so much hate, but it's a great movie.
Well,
I enjoyed
Can
it.
you guys see that?
It got hate because, like, it gave the fans what they want, and it didn't deviate,
Exactly.
and it was also very family friendly.
And
Super
that's
family-friendly.
why
It was
they hated
amazing.
it.
It was
That's a yeah. Go
too much
ahead. Dante, go ahead.
Mario gaming nostalgia in that game. If you were like a gamer like in maybe 90s, early 90s up until now, you realize all the references in terms of the music and stuff like that. Amazing.
Yeah, they did it because it was too wholesome and it had too much references that the critics couldn't get because they don't play video games.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. This movie finished exposing the reviewer class for what they are, elitist pricks.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Yes. Oh,
They
yeah.
they're just like any other thing. Politicians, any news. They run in those same type of circles.
They're all just agents who like people with money.
Exactly. They live in their bubble. They think their farts smell better than everybody else's, and they think that unless it has some over the top sex, violence, or anything that a normal person would scoff at, they're gonna look down on us. This movie exposed them, but it also helped expose Disney. Massively exposed them.
Oh yeah,
Agreed.
I love it. I'm
100%
loving it.
agree.
Like, I'm
Yep.
loving it. Like, man, like, I knew this movie was going to make $1 billion. I knew.
Yeah,
it.
like,
I
because Mario is
absolutely
so
knew.
big.
Even when it wasn't projecting, I knew. I just knew it would.
Well,
because everybody knows if you're from the 80s, everybody knows Super Mario. There's so many.
and even if you're not from the
generations that grew up
80s.
Yeah, even when you're not from
Yeah.
the 80s, like,
Okay,
I'm 90s.
here's the deal with video game movies. I think this is what's going to be the deal about it. Everybody knows Mario. It doesn't matter if you're a gamer. It doesn't matter if you're older. It doesn't matter if you're younger.
Yes.
My mother knows Mario, mainly because she bought us the Nintendo and actually tried to play with us when I was 7 and 8 when we got the NES.
Mm-hmm.
My in-laws, who are a little older than my mother's age, they know who Mario is precisely because my wife, her brothers, they had a Nintendo. Everybody, normie, non-normie, gamer, non-gamer, mangaka, anime fan, doesn't matter. Everybody knows who Mario is.
Yep.
That helped. And it also helped that man right there kept the thumb on Illumination and kept some of the more woke wanker side of Comcast and Universal, because that's who Illumination is either owned by or partners with for distribution.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They kept them from going wild. The rumor was, and I tend to believe it, is that in some of the original scripts, this was going to be a Princess Peach movie. She was going to be the girl boss. She was going to be everything.
That was Crow was saying.
Yes, exactly. And
I'm a little skeptical, but you know what? It could be.
It makes sense.
It could be right. There might have been a movement to make Peach more of a girl boss. She is.
I was afraid of that, by the way.
And we saw a bit of that.
It's a little bit there, but I feel like they toned it down just enough before it went too much.
It's a lot of it there. If you think about it, Princess Peach couldn't handle her own personally. She didn't need Mario or Luigi. If you saw her through the practice stage, she cleared that, and even she said she cleared that on her first try.
Yep. That's the part that they let them
that
keep.
gave it away to me. Like, oh, they tried to do it that way, but they decided to back off from that.
Yeah, and they had to back off because once Miyamoto and everybody at Nintendo of Japan saw it, they're like, no.
No. Yep.
They let them keep just that little bit, and that little bit is the part that I hold that goes to at least support that that probable line. That line of, yes, they were originally going to make this a woke wanker fest, but then they said, no, this is a Mario movie. He is the hero. Peach is the teacher. She supports him, and they're saving Luigi. And as a WDW pro put it, everybody can relate to Mario or to Peach easily, but everybody loves Luigi. Luigi is that sidekick, that he is the brother. He is
Luigi is my favorite character.
Yeah, Luigi is the one that everybody loves. Not everybody wants to be him, but the one that everybody loves.
If you think about it too, not to cut you off, but like if you watch the movie, if you think about it, during the wedding scene, when Peach crashes her own supposed wedding and she gets the ice flower, she bodies literally everyone, even Bowser. She freezes Bowser, stops the people from being sacrificed for her wedding. She holds them off perfectly until Mario shows up. But if you think about it, did she really need Mario? She didn't. She really did not need Mario.
That's how you know, but that's exactly how you know that the script was different before Miyamoto, stepped on,
Okay, here's the second part. The Japanese release of this, having a full Japanese voice cast, and according to everything that I've heard recently...
Oh, my bad, Otaku.
Yeah, my understanding with it is Miyamoto had a separate script developed specifically for the Japanese market. And if that's the case, did they also have different scenes rendered specific for their version of the movie?
Oh my god. See, I hate that.
Holy
they get all the good stuff, man.
That's what it sounds like.
They get all the good stuff.
They're showing the Japanese version in select theaters at some AMCs for a limited time.
But only on the West Coast.
I think there was
really?
There's a New York showing.
Yeah, there's one New York showing, but it's either Seattle, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and I think there was one other place. But what I want, and I hope they do this, I really hope they do, they need to put out the 4K version of this with the version that we all saw, but then also have the Japanese version, not just the dubbing, but the actual version that they had with the proper translation subtitling.
I'll buy that on Blu-ray.
I'd buy that.
I'd buy the Steelbook easily.
Yes.
Everybody would. That's the point. Everybody would buy that, and then we could watch it the way that he watched it, the way that Mr. Miyamoto wanted it.
Oh shit!
I mean, I do think. Don't you think he's a little bit upset? Like when he read that script and he was like, "Hey, what are you doing? Why are you doing this?"
That's what the rumor was. They were unsatisfied. He was
probably thinking,
I mean, after '93, Nintendo was going to be in the kitchen at all times. Like after that '93 movie, they did not.
Exactly.
I mean, they haven't touched Hollywood in a long time.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so I do hope Illumination has been kicking Disney's ass for a while, even with the Minions and stuff. So I don't think they're definitely a more family oriented brand than Disney.
Yeah,
exactly.
But
that's why they chose them.
I do, but if the woke story is true, I do hope that they learn from the Mario movie, and that when we get Zelda, and now
they're not gonna learn.
By the way, they'll have more. Zelda will have more time to shine because she's always been kind of a stronger character than Peach, and that's why I've always preferred Zelda, because she's always either helping Link in the background or Wind Waker when she fights Ganondorf with him. That was so epic.
Yeah. Well, bear this in mind. When's the last time that Disney had actually was doing something good in the theater? When's the last time?
Hey, my friend,
they lost.
They literally lost $120 billion last year. The only good crap that they had was the Avatar: The Way of Water. And I don't give them credit for that. I don't give them credit for that.
Yeah, that was all James
That was
Cameron.
a Fox product, yeah.
Yeah, that was a Fox product.
Uh-huh.
Okay. in terms of the animation studios, Disney with Disney Animation and with Pixar versus Universal with Illumination, and they also own Steven Spielberg's company that he started that did Shrek. I can see them. DreamWorks. So they've got their two. They've got the other two. Every year since the beginning of this decade, Universal has been beating Disney at the box office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
by the way,
the new
the recent...
Puss in Boots was amazing.
Fantastic.
Great movie.
Yeah.
If you ever
loved it.
Yeah, if you notice, there are certain sequences within Puss in Boots that they borrowed techniques that are typically found from our friends over in Japan.
I see, like, with his eyes a little bit.
The eyes, the dropping in frame rate down to 12 frames as opposed to keeping it at the 24, and the stylization, or if you look at the fight sequences that Puss has, that's typically when they make those changes. That's definitely very Japanese in style, as opposed to a more traditional Western 3D animation style. That whole movie has that tonal shift, but it's in those sequences when they really make that change known.
Wait, the new Puss in Boots movie is
Naruto
Universal,
Shippuden
right?
opening 16 over that fight scene. Like I notice. Like it's true. It's absolutely true.
So rewatch it. It's on if you have Peacock, it's well worth the $5 to see it again, or just go get the 4K of it. And when you see the fight scenes between Puss and the bounty hunter, or at the very beginning with Puss versus the tree monster, when the action kicks in, double check the frame rate. Just keep an eye on it, and you'll see the change. And then compare it to what you typically see in a great top-notch anime battle sequence. Anything from Demon Slayer, for example. Similar styles.
It's already on Peacock?
Yeah, they already have it on Peacock. It was on premium video on demand 30 days out, but it's already on Peacock now for regular streaming. So if you subscribe to it, you can watch it. You just have to watch like a minute worth of things up front. Or just go buy the 4K of it.
Gotcha. Oh, I gotta look at that.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, I do have to take off. So,
yeah, we're actually wrapping up.
Brandon.
Brandon, thank you so much. Thank you so much,
man.
Would you be able to make it to another show?
I'm sorry. What was that again?
Would you be able to join us on another show? Maybe?
Yeah, just let me know. Just let me know when you'd like, or when you're going live, and yeah, I'll see what I can do. But I need to go for a walk with the wife. Get some exercise
on next week.
All right, gotcha, man.
Thanks for
have a good day, man.
Yeah, have a good day, man.
All right, everybody, take care, and yeah, I'll reach out to hit me up on Twitter, all of you. I know at least Dante and Dash, you got me. I think Andy, you follow me too, but if not, follow me. I'll follow you back. We'll chat.
You got it.
Yeah, awesome, man.
All right, gentlemen.
Take care, man.
You take care. See you later.
Wow.
Yeah, that was great.
See,
that was awesome.
That was
great. Absolutely beautiful.
That was great.
Yeah.
We need him back on the show. Like,
yeah, was that your first time interacting with Brandon?
I've never interacted with him.
Oh, he's great.
Wait, wasn't he on Geeks and Gamers once?
Yeah, he knows Midnight's Edge. I'm sure he's done like stuff on Geeks and Gamers. Like he's tight in this circle, and I am a little bit too. So like, not with Geeks and Gamers, but with like Midnight's Edge and stuff. You know,
because I thought I saw him before.
Separate since the whole Doomcock divorce with Gary and Nerdrotic. Ever since then, like things have been a little bit separate. But yeah, like everyone kind of already like shares like kind of like the same opinions. We all kind of like don't like Disney. Like, you know, that's kind of like, you know, everyone's commonality.
Yeah, and trying to preserve anime and manga as best we can too.
Yeah,
so he was. I knew I'd seen him before.
Is like the only one who's like into like anime in that circle. So like that's why he's Brandon, the anime guy. Like a lot of the one of my frustrations with like Midnight's Edge is like they're not open to anime, and they don't like cover anime or gaming stories.
The same thing with Geeks and Gamers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Geeks and Gamers, they don't talk about anime. The Yellow Flash doesn't talk about anime.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, like once in a blue moon, probably because it's, you know.
Views. But Flash does what he does. I'm a subscribe. I won't like, but what I want to do, I want to talk about like these things that aren't getting talked about, and that's why we're here.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
He's right.
And good. And this is why we started this show, man. This is so cool. This is so freaking
this
cool.
is great.
This is so freaking cool,
Great.
man.
Feel proud of
live
it, Andy.
tonight, guys.
Feel
Great
proud.
live.
Yo, man. So everybody in the chat,
Thank you guys for dropping comments. You guys are freaking awesome.
Yeah,
you know the thing is, I had no idea he was gonna show up today. I think Dash Attack told me, Dash, you told me he was gonna show up, but I wasn't like expecting it.
Oh no, I had no idea it was.
Oh, that
show
was
up.
me. I told you he was gonna. He might. He wants to jump into the live.
Okay. Yeah, man. So there was some other topics that we covered, but hey, I mean, Brandon, he was the best part of the show, so I guess we don't really need to go over those things. Maybe next week.
It was good. Like, yeah, we've got saved some of the articles for next week.
But next time we got.
Yeah.
We're gonna cover those.
Yeah,
next
we
time
got
for
Loki
sure.
coming next week.
Loki.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. Wow. So before we close out, guys, any recommendations? Movies, video games, anime, anything?
Anime, guys, watch Hell's Paradise. It's a great show. I'm on episode 4 right now. You can watch it, I believe, on Crunchyroll or wherever else. But I am watching it on Crunchyroll. It's a great show. I highly recommend Hell's Paradise. Anime, by the way.
Yeah, watch Phantom. Watch Requiem for the Phantom. Find the old Funimation dub of it, like on the ether somewhere. Like, it's a pretty good anime, and the opening kicks ass. It's very dark too.
Love it.
Oh, cool. And me personally, I've been busy learning how to draw. But trying to build up my skills so that one day I could make my own comic book and contribute to the what's the word I'm looking for?
Comicsgate?
Yeah, no, contribute to we contribute to what does Young Ripper call it? The
Nerd culture, game culture.
No, the parallel economy.
Okay.
Parallel economy. Yeah, independent
yeah.
creation. That's where it's at.
Yeah, parallel
Okay.
economy. And because I saw Raging Golden Eagle make his own comic, and
Use your channel, fund it.
Yeah, and that's why years from now I like to release a comic and in the manga style, obviously.
That is also my plan too.
Yeah, that's Irene's Fiendish is very inspired by Berserk. You should support that.
Yeah, that's why I don't know if you guys see my posts on my page, my channel. I've shown some of my drawings.
I saw it. Yeah,
I haven't. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's basically what I've been doing. I just been keeping up with Demon Slayer, and I gotta watch Vinland Saga. I've been.
Dude, check out
back up
Hell's
on that.
Paradise. You're not gonna regret it. Trust me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
And I think I watched one on Netflix. I forgot the name. I forgot the freaking name.
But great live, guys. Awesome time. You guys
Yeah.
are freaking awesome.
So yeah, I want to bring more guests on the show. So guys, everybody that's listening, every Saturday night from about 7 p.m. to 7:30, we are here on my channel, Dash Attack, Dante, Andy. Make sure subscribe to our channel, follow us on Twitter, and we're gonna try to bring more people, more guests on the show. And one of my goals, if this becomes big enough, I would like to bring like a legitimate comic book artist, somebody from the industry, onto our show one day. And,
maybe there are some like conservative leaning like comic book like pros like Chuck Dixon, the guy who created Bane. Maybe you can get him on.
Right,
True.
we'll have to grow the channel. We'll grow the
Just keep on
podcast
growing,
bigger.
guys. Just keep on growing. Subscribe to our
eventually we'll
channels,
get
guys.
there. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
So everybody that's listening, thank you guys for listening. This is your boy Andy Matrix, Dante and Dash, and you guys have a good night. Godspeed, baby.
Godspeed.